Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time.
None of that affects how you are going to change the world.
That's right.
No, it does not take one person to change the world, but it takes one person to believe in themselves.
Yes.
That they can make a difference.
I love
to
that.
inspire others.
And that's why, for me, I try to make it my purpose now to try to help other people realize their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad that so many of us, we get destroyed based off of what other people have to say.
Yeah.
I would say do it in your own way. Make sure you're doing it on your own accord and take a risk.
Go out there and live your life passionately. Believe in everything that you're doing and believe in the fact that you will accomplish every single goal. Welcome everyone to Your Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to celebrate the beauty within. All that love, that compassion, that self-esteem, self-confidence, all that you have inside. Let's radiate that on the outside to the world so they can see that the beauty is not only on the inside, but is also on the outside. I am your host, LaShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. Tag a friend, call a friend, text a friend. Let them know that we're on for 2025, the very first show for 2025. So please, I'd like to welcome you in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh my God, it is 2025, and I'm going to keep saying that because I still can't believe it. We made it to another year. I am so excited. I hope that you guys are the same. You are ready to conquer those dreams, thrive in 2025, live, just be alive in 2025. That's what it's all about right now. All those resolutions and stuff that people talking about right now, I don't have those things on my mind. I'm not resolving to do anything but live my best life and live my passion and my purpose according to, really what God has already placed in me. What I've decided instead is to set intentions. What about you? Do you have New Year's resolutions, or are you intending to do something different than you did in 2024? Are you committed to being greater than you were in 2024? That's exactly what I'm embarking on, my friends. I'm making intentions and commitments for 2025. And I ask that you join me in doing so. So you place in the comments what your intentions and your commitments are. I'm going to start off real quick. I intend to continue on this wellness journey that I have been on. LaShawn losing little pounds here and there. She's looking all good for you guys for 2025. And I want you to do the same. I am eating healthier. I'm more mindful about what I put into my body. And in addition to that, I'm doing a little bit of exercise. I will say I work from home. I get a little lazy sometimes, but now I am taking the time to actually walk around my home. I'm actually doing more than the average 500 to 1,000 steps every day. I am now making it my business to be committed and intentioned in walking at least 5,000 steps within the home and another 5,000 when I go out. So that is what I'm doing to make sure that I continue on this health journey. By the summertime, I don't want to just be summertime fine. I want to feel it, and I want to be it, and I want to live it. And then I am committed to my spiritual journey. I think I told you guys in 2024 at the end of the year that I want to just deeply root myself in the Word. I want to connect to God in a way that I will never, ever feel His presence in my life. And that is exactly what I've been experiencing lately. So I am committed in staying on that journey. I am committed to just make sure that I am spending time with Him in prayer, and that everything that I do and everything that I say and everything that I proceed out my mouth is just filled with His Spirit within me. And I love how I feel now that I've been doing it. So I am committed to maintaining that connection, maintaining the path that I'm on, so that I can just free myself of, the drudgery of this world sometimes, because I will tell you, sometimes I get into a space of sadness, a little depression and confusion. But I think because I'm rooting myself so deeply in the word right now, I know that it will be okay. And I've just stay prayed up and faithful and believe that it will all end up according to his good and his will, that I have no problem with whatever state that I'm in at that moment. So that is my commitment with my spirituality. And then obviously my intentions and my commitment to my peace of mind, because it is so hard sometimes with the world and everything that's going on. And then your family, your job, and everything that you are pressed with in your life. Sometimes it's hard to maintain that balance, that peace, that just serenity that you so deserve. So I am committed to making sure that I maintain that peace within, that I take care of myself, I self-care, that I maintain that compassion, that love, and that spirit of goodness that I have in my life, and be that ray of sunshine to others that I so love to do every single day. It's hard sometimes when, life happens and you have to deal with the trials, tribulations, and the challenges that just life throws at you. But if you stay committed to staying on a path of peace, making sure that you don't allow anything to disturb your energy and your spirit, it will be that you will actually have that beauty within you, and it will be maintained. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Being committed and intentioned in maintaining and actually revealing and celebrating the beauty within you. I have been noticing lately that a lot of people are worried so much about how they look on the outside. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that as well. I'm in the mirror a couple of times. I wanna make more sure my lipstick looks good, my hair looks good. But then I wonder, is that more important than how I feel on the inside? Who cares what I have going on, with my hair and my nails and my lips? If I'm upset or I'm unhappy or if I'm sad or if I'm dealing with pain on the inside, somehow, some way it will eventually show. And so what I want to do now is maintain the beauty on the inside of me, so it is radiating, it is illuminating itself on the outside of me, that I don't have to worry about the mirror looking back at me and concerned with my hair and my nails and my skin. I know that I'm radiating beauty just because it is just all up inside of me. So I want to talk to you today about what it is to have the beauty within. And the beauty within is within all of us, and that is the title of the show. And we're going to be speaking about the beauty within with the beautiful Gerdie René Gordon. She is a dedicated beauty consultant, women's wellness advocate, and ordained minister who has spent over 2 decades blending her passions for hair, wellness, and faith. With a career rooted in empowering beauty professionals, Gerdie bridges the gap between artistry and business, equipping aspiring entrepreneurs with the skills to build successful professional brands. As the founder of the Gerdie René Gordon Consultancy, LLC, she leads 3 transformative programs: Totally Booked, Trust Talk with Gerdie, and Well Woman, offering business mentorship, concierge hair care, and holistic retreats focused on nurturing the mind, body, and spirit. A true visionary, Gerdie is also the founder of the René Academy of Creative Arts, a nonprofit dedicated to inspiring and educating youth through creative arts that emphasize inner beauty and purpose. She is a master color expert and educator for the Wella Company and holds advanced degrees in divinity and social work. Alongside her husband, Pastor Michael A. Gordon, and their 2 daughters, Gerdie serves as a ministry in the Bronx Church of God. Grounded in the principles of Micah 6:8, Gerdie's life mission is to inspire others to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. So please help me welcome the beautiful Gerdie René Gordon. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much, LaShawn.
No, thank you so much for being here, especially for the start of the new year. We spoke last year, and I just was so impressed and inspired by your journey, and also just how deeply rooted you are in the Word of God and your spirituality. So I felt it was so important and necessary that we start the new year off with you talking to us and explaining to us how it is important for us to celebrate the beauty within. So thank you so much again for being here.
Absolutely.
How
It's
was
a pleasure.
Thank you. So how was your day?
My day was good. It was I don't want to say a regular work day because I've been intentional about being intentional about my day
Right.
and making sure that there is a level of purpose to it.
Yes.
While coupling that with being mindful of self-care,
Yeah.
which is something that I've had to learn to appreciate and incorporate. And we can't just wish it or think about it. We have to be intentional about doing it.
No, you're absolutely right. I totally agree. And as I mentioned at the start of the show, it's not about the resolutions, those
Right.
things that we know we're not going to follow through on in 3 months. What
Right.
they say, like February or March, so all that is out the
Oh,
window.
gone.
Exactly. So it's the intention and the commitment. And I'm happy that you said that because it is. It's important that we not just say we're going to put towards the effort, but actually set aside the time and make sure that we live up to that time every day or every week or however amount of time you want to do it. But that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope you guys caught that because I'm a big procrastinator. I realized that at the end of the year when I was going through, the things that I feel I need to be delivered from. And one of them was procrastination. So I am finding now being committed to taking the time to actually get these things and projects that I need to get done in a timely fashion. And journaling is one of those things as well, to keep that into the forefront of my mind, So I love that you said that. So we mentioned that in your bio that you are a beauty professional. You are in the business of making people look beautiful on the outside, and you minister to those about being beautiful on the inside.
Absolutely.
But first tell me, how did you, come to get on this path, this journey of being a beauty professional? How did that start?
Well, unlike most who I hear give their story on this was a childhood dream or thought, that wasn't my story.
Okay.
It was, I started since I was 8 years old, and it was a natural gifting.
Wow.
And I started out as a braider. I would do my cousins, my sister, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother who lived with us from Haiti, so she stayed with us. And it grew from there. Wow. Having strict West Indian parents, it was never something that was encouraged for me to make a career out of it. So that wasn't even in my purview. It was something I did. I was great at it, and I loved it.
Wow.
I actually was on the path to being an attorney.
Oh, wow.
And from grade school all the way up to college, that was my path. That was what I was looking to do. And this was always on the side.
Right.
But lo and behold, when you do something well, word gets out there and people know. And so I ended up not knowing that I had a business, but I ended up having a small business in my parents' home.
Wow.
My father was an entrepreneur, and it really was him who was like, "You're running up my water and my electric bill. You need to start charging something." And in my parents' home, in the bedroom that they allowed me to use and have, and I started working out of the bedroom, started charging, and it kind of, as they say, the rest is history.
Right.
It took off from there.
Wow. And these were the people that you were servicing. This is your community, it's your family.
neighborhood.
You started charging your friends and your family.
South Jamaica, Queens, New York.
I love that. That's a true businesswoman move, my friend, because we'll be doing people's hair and helping them beautify themselves for free until the day we're gone, you know? So I love that you did that. So since 8 years old.
Since I was 8 years old, I started. I didn't start charging until about high school.
Right.
But since I was 8 years old, to the point where people didn't believe it. My sisters, I'm the youngest of four. They had to vouch, like, no, she really did that, Wow. It just came naturally.
I love that. And then in college, I understand that people used to admire like your hair and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then you started doing. So tell us about that.
So I started my business from high school, and then I went to Temple University in Pennsylvania. And my roommate, we went to high school together, and I opened up shop in our dorm room, and I was a girl from New York that was doing hair.
Wow.
And was charging and stuff from there. And once again, it was something I just did on the side.
Right.
Wasn't thinking that it was going to be a career choice for me. And one of the classes I took, it was my second year, and it was a public speaking class.
Okay.
And another lady there, she befriended me. And she also did hair, so she would talk about hair. She's like, oh, you're Gerdie's of New York, so on and so forth. And at the end of the semester, we had to do a public speaking as our final presentation.
Right.
And her topic was on hairdressers operating without a license.
Oh, wow.
And how it's illegal. Mind you, I had been on Temple's campus for about 2 years now doing hair. Everyone knew I was the girl from New York doing hair. And I remember sitting there feeling like ground opened up and swallowed me.
Right.
And so that is kind of what changed my life, you know? And so although it was an embarrassing, painful time and moment, I just really was hurt. But I was more so mad at myself because she was right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't ever want anyone to have that over me, you know? I didn't like that. So I immediately went and looked into hair school.
Wow.
Against my parents' wishes.
Yes, because mind you, she was in law. She was in school for law. So go ahead.
And so my dad was like, I didn't send you there, so they wouldn't pay for it or anything. And so I ended up finding a hair school, getting out of, you know, my housing. Make a long story short, I ended up, my last 2 years, I was in undergrad at Temple University, changed my major, and then I ended up doing hair school concurrently, and I was graduated from both of them in 2000.
I love that.
A month apart.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
How do you think that story affected your path? Because I think that had she not had that, what was it?
It was a communications class.
Okay, so had she not actually wrote on that, and then obviously you saw that, and she spoke on it, and mind you, she befriended you.
Right.
You know, as if y'all had something in common. You know what I mean? But had she not revealed that to you, do you think you would have been on this path, or you think that you would have continued in law?
Well, with law, especially when I got to college, I spent, you know, like my first year in the law library, and I was like, this isn't for me, you know, and just, it was a lot of reading and case briefings, and it wasn't what I thought law would be, actually practicing. So I had already started to lose that, and I changed my major to communications.
Okay.
However, with just this career in beauty, I didn't see that either. So it did take that. You know, there's a scripture that says what the enemy meant for evil, God turns it out for your good.
Yeah.
And I am a living testimony of that.
And I truly believe that.
Absolutely.
In this instance,
Absolutely.
I really do. Because
really
I think that your side hustle was just your ways and means of just receiving extra money. You didn't have any complaints. There was no issues. You didn't bald anyone, then you didn't burn anyone. You didn't have any issues. But I feel that that was for your good. It was to push you to that next level, to get you to actually pursue it, because you were looking at it as just, this is something that I'm just good at. It's my artistry, and I don't think I can really make money from it. But
well,
you
I
did.
didn't think that. I felt that if I made it a career, I would lose my love for it, and so I didn't want to do that. And I still had these the stereotypes and just my parents in my mind of wanting you know, to be an attorney or, you know, a doctor, doing those things, and it was looked down upon. You know, even, you know, my dad, may he rest in peace, before he passed, he even said to me, you know what, I'm so proud of you because you showed me how this can be a career, because, you know, he was my biggest underwriter, my biggest supporter at the time, and he was so proud, you know, when I opened my first salon. He was right there with me, you know?
I love
and
that.
so even he's like, you know, mes compliments. You know, he was like, he complimented on the fact that he saw that it wasn't a fallback. It wasn't because I didn't want to do anything, that I actually made a career out of this and was relatively successful.
I love that. I love that. So you graduated, you opened up a few salons. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, so in 2007, I opened up my first salon, you know, with a partner. I'm a Queens girl, born and raised, so after living in Philly for 7 years, I moved back to New York, opened the first salon, and then about a year and a half in, my partner decided not to be in business anymore, and so I had to make a choice. But once again, you know, do I continue or do I, you know, close up and, you know, do something else?
Right.
And I just did not have that clearance. You know, it was daunting. I was scared.
Wow.
But, you know, I had already, you know, I was all in.
Right.
You know, and so just navigating through that, navigating through figuring it out.
Right.
You know, there was a level of comfortability in having a partner. And at the end of the day, just very basically having to go from being responsible for half to
Right.
being responsible for the full.
Yes.
In addition to having taken out small business loans and just all of that. And so I
Yes. At such a
assumed,
young age too, right?
I assumed all of that debt. I
Yeah.
assumed the entire company and all. And once again, you know, just being able to make lemonade out of lemons. And we jokingly call I was the Goldilocks of salons because that one, it ended up being a real guzzler, a real like constant money, and it was a
Right.
huge space. And so I had to really figure out what to do next. And
Right.
so I had to downsize. So I opened my second location. And so this one was a little bit too small, you know, so
Okay.
we outgrew that. So a few years there. And then the last one was in 2015, I believe. And that was just right. It was 2 levels right on the corner of Linden and 223rd
Right.
in Cambria Heights. And when I tell you that one was just from the open to the close, it was just
I
the
love
best,
it.
you
I
know, it was
love
the best
it.
experience. Not without hardship.
Right.
You know, not without difficulties, not without having to get some tough skin and make some tough decisions. But in addition to that, I ended up developing some really deep roots.
I love that.
Really great lessons, really good relationships that I still have. You know, I still have good relationship with my, that last group, that last team I had of employees, you know, French Kiss. They were
love
great.
it.
And I still in touch with them,
That's
you know?
beautiful.
Absolutely.
And like you said, that does sound like a Goldilocks story. It was
Right.
too big, not right. Then it
Too
was too
small.
small, not right. And then you found the perfect space.
Absolutely.
So how long did you actually stay there until you moved on?
From 2015 to 2022.
Okay, all right. I
Right.
love that. And you enjoyed working? I mean, you were still
Absolutely.
doing hair. You were hands-on. You weren't
Absolutely.
just running a shop. You
No,
were literally
both.
taking clients and everything.
Absolutely. Owner and operator.
Wow.
I used to do like 90-hour work weeks.
Oh, wow.
Loved it. Always booked, always busy.
Obviously, you have skills, my friend. And you said, like earlier, you didn't want to lose the passion for it. So
Right.
did you feel that at any time during?
No, what I did not expect, there was never an issue with clientele. There was never an issue with always having someone in my chair.
Right.
That wasn't it. I prepared for that, right?
Right.
What I didn't prepare for was there not being enough supply for the demand. I didn't realize how hard it would have been to. I thought if you build it, they will come.
Right,
meaning
right.
having a great staff. I never thought there'd be an issue with getting staff
Right.
and having qualified people. But I realized that there is there's a really fine line between finding someone who's qualified who can do great hair, but that is the whole package, that has bedside manner, that
Right.
understands customer service, that understands it's more than just the end result
Right.
of beautiful hair, skin, and nails.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And as a minister, you know, that was really big to me.
Right, right.
You know, also when my background is in social work as well. And so I looked at it as more than just someone coming to get their hair done
very
or what have
true.
you. You know, that being ministry and being able to have a holistic approach, you know, and so that you leaving with dope hair is the icing on the cake.
Yes.
That's the cherry on top.
Yes.
But it's that entire experience, what's happening, you know, and
Yes.
so people say it, we're therapists, we're ministers, we're psychologists, all of that. There's some truth to that,
No,
you know?
there really is.
And so being able to provide a great experience really, it still is my passion. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I do now in my
I
consultancy.
love that. It wasn't
Yeah.
just doing the hair then.
No.
It was actually providing a full beauty experience.
Right.
And doing that by filtering from the inside to bring the
Absolutely.
beauty out.
Right.
And the hair was just like you said, it was just the prize.
Cherry on
You
top.
walking out there with a beautiful hairdo and your nails done, that was all just the prize. But the experience itself was more important. So share with me then how you decided to go on this holistic journey, knowing that the supply wasn't meeting the demand. You didn't have the type of artist, you know, to come into the salon and actually provide exactly what you were trying to provide.
Well, that's what ended up happening, me recognizing that there's such a gap in that. because I had been doing this for so long, you know, it's been over 20 years, it was like, you know, I'm not, number one, I'm not looking to be 80 years old still trying to click,
Yes.
curl someone's hair, right? But on top of that, I'm like, you know what? I would do more service by being able to pour into those who are coming, to be able to feed into, you know, you already have the gifting.
Yes.
You already are talented.
Yeah.
But how can we hone in that? You know, how can we make it holistic where it's not
Yes.
only the gifting of, you can slay,
Yeah.
right? But it's everything else that goes around that. And that's
Right.
what I've been doing. So I felt that, you know, I would reach more and do more by being able to remove myself from behind the chair to be able to now go into other salons, speak and teach and pour into those who are coming behind me, you know,
love that.
and trying to at least get them before they get jaded by the industry, before
Right.
they get jaded in, you know, developing bad habits.
Right.
And, you know, because there's a lot of bad habits out there, as we
Yes,
know.
yes,
You know,
yes.
and so it's been fulfilling. It's been, the 28th of this month will be 2 years since I launched a consultancy where I bridge the gap between artistry and business for beauty professionals.
I love that. And also, you're allowing these young girls who, like you said, have the talent and have the skills, but are just using it as a side hustle.
Right.
You're teaching them how to actually become
Right.
full-blown business women.
Consummate professionals.
I love that. So tell me about that. Tell me about that part of it and why you felt it was so necessary.
Well, it actually was screaming out at me. You know, I've been a contracted educator with the Weller Company, and so that has afforded me great opportunity to go into salons all in the tri-state area, you know, and then I train out in Los Angeles twice a year, and that really opened my eyes to the vast majority of people that need that, right? Because like I said, I'll say it till I'm blue, they have the talent, they have the gifting. And so what ended up happening before even closing the salon, I ended up finding myself being at the salon only 1 or 2 days a week.
Wow.
Thank God I had a staff that was able to run and manage the salon,
Right.
but because I was out doing a lot of classes and recognizing the need more and more, had some relationships with the local hair schools and being able to go into the schools and present, and then after I present, whether it be a class on you know, hair cutting or styling or business,
Right.
they would end up staying after and asking me a lot of questions. And so it kind of evolved from that. I'm like, okay, there's something here, you know?
Yes.
And so I was just like, I'm just gonna jump in, you know, and that's what I'm doing.
I love
So
it.
this first year and a half has really been, I've been able to tap into my sphere of influence and people I've just known. But now I'm pushing myself to get out there even more, to, you know, go out to those who I don't know.
Right.
You know, that's been daunting. You know, I'm trying to show up more on social media, do things like this more, and
Yes.
just be out there more.
Right.
But I do believe that the need is there.
Yeah. And what kind of feedback are you receiving, especially from these young girls who, again, doing it in their living rooms, taking care of their family and friends, not seeing past it and just thinking that this is just a gift that I have and I really can't really do too much with it. What are they saying to you?
One of the greatest satisfactions, I guess, or for lack of a better word, that I get is when I call it, Oprah says the aha moment. I
Right.
call it those light bulb moments where it makes sense. Like they're seeing that there's so much more that you can do in this industry. I'm not taken away from being behind the chair. You know,
Right.
there is a need for that, but understanding, just having the mindset to know that there's so many opportunities out there, diversifying your income streams, taking what you know and being able to package it in a way to present it to others. That's true success.
Right.
The money comes.
Yes.
You know, and I always say money is a weak God.
Yes.
You know, I'm a living witness. If I wouldn't do anything I've ever done with my life if I focused on the money. Or the lack thereof,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And so understanding that that's not, that money is just a resource, but I'm tapped into the true source.
Right.
And being able to let them know that there's no greater feeling, because when they get it, they get
They
it.
get it. I love that. So what do we learn? I mean, you as a consultant, who would necessarily come to you and seek guidance from you, other than the youth that, you know, are trying to turn this into a money stream?
Right. That's a great question. It's so funny because my particular target is for young entrepreneurs in the beauty space.
Okay.
But people have come to me who are not in the beauty space because they see what I do with business
Right.
and how it works. And so I have a few clients that aren't in the beauty space
Wow.
helping also. And my program is called Totally Booked. Totally Booked is not the same as booked and busy. You know, it's not that. And understanding Totally Booked is being wholly booked. What does your whole business look like?
Right.
Right? And so that's not just with you providing the service.
Right.
Right? It's what else are you providing? How have you diversified your income streams? What value are you providing for those you're meant to serve?
Right, right.
And that shows up in various ways. It's not only in the actual service you provide,
Right.
but it's in the entire experience you provide. And that experience is both in person, and now we have an entire opportunity to reach and serve even more people digitally.
Yes. That's
So, yeah.
beautiful. I love that. So in terms of what you think the beauty industry is missing right now, specifically for women of color, how could you help, and what can you sort of impart to the business to make it better, or for it to grow? If it's at a good pace and a good space right now, how could you, with what you know, make it grow?
That's a great question. What I find, especially being in New York, is because we're so saturated, the powers that be, like, the Department of State or the State Board, and just different like governing entities, they don't have enough manpower or woman power to be able to really govern and make sure people are operating, up to par.
Right, right.
So because of that, and because of social media and so much people having so much access,
Right.
there's a lack of accountability, especially in our industry. And that's one of the things that it really, it pains me.
Right.
Even when having this salon, education was mandatory.
Right,
we
right.
had to take continuing education classes. I taught classes just about every month because that's important.
Right.
In our industry, however, it's not mandated.
Wow.
You're not required to take CEUs, which are
Right.
continuing education classes or,
Right.
or credits. You can have gotten your license back in 1978,
And
as
still-
long as every 2 years you renew it, that's, you can do that.
Wow.
And that's a problem.
With no further higher education on it, the
You don't have
changes
to.
really.
You don't have to, right? And so
Even product development with new products and
you just have to renew your license.
really.
Right.
Wow.
And it's a major disservice,
Yeah.
And so, but I do know that I'm not, just the only one. There are people doing things in place. As of last year, or November 2022, I believe, no, November 2023, in New York State, it became mandatory for cosmetology schools to offer natural hairstyling.
Okay.
That became mandatory. So
Right.
there's some things that are happening,
Right.
but there's so much, this
more.
monster out there of
Yeah.
people opening up, holes in the wall,
Yeah.
or opening up salons, and they're able to just do it
Yeah.
if they can just pay for it,
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of work to be done,
Right.
but I'm hopeful. I'm not without hope, that there are we're making some strides.
That's good. That's good. Well, I mean, the beauty industry being like $1 billion industry, multi-billion-dollar industry, and knowing that everyone is so worried about the outward appearance. How did you come up with this holistic approach to beauty and and how to provide the service?
Well, it comes from just my natural evolution, what happened with me, and I had to learn to love myself, flawed and all.
Yes.
And so with that, I know that if I've experienced it, or if I've had my own imposter syndrome, self-doubt, feeling never good enough or what have you, then, I'm not alone in that.
Yeah.
And so that's where it stems from.
Right.
And then being not completely on the other side, because I think we don't get to the other side till we're no longer living or breathing.
Right.
We're works in progress. But while I'm on this journey and having come to some breakthroughs,
Right.
I love myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, if you got to know me, you'd love me too.
That's
you
right.
know? And I don't say that from a
right.
place of being cocky.
Yeah.
I'm just confident because I know who I am and whose I am.
Yes.
And I know where my identity comes from.
Yes.
And that informs everything I do.
I
I
love
know
that.
that we all have a mandate, we all have purpose, we all have a reason why we're here. And so being able to tap into that
Right.
with others, there's no greater thing. That's,
love
you know,
that.
I think that that's what we're here for.
I love that. So it's not just about sitting in my chair and,
Nah.
you know, you're going to walk out of here with a fly hairstyle. Like you want
Right.
to really impart something deeper inside your client. So tell me, The Beauty Within is the title of the show. What does that actually mean to you then on this journey that you're on and the expertise that you hone?
Let it be my goal and those of us who are in this profession. Like, it's not missed on me the fact that we're able to actually touch.
Yes.
And there's power in touching.
Yes.
And for years before I even recognized how powerful that was, there'd be certain times, and you can ask any client or any guest I've ever served, they would feel the difference. Like I would literally doing like head massages, and you there's that connection. There's power in that.
Yes.
Right? And understanding that. And so when you recognize that, you can't take it for granted.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so many providers don't recognize it.
Yeah.
Because if you did, we wouldn't have this issue of people not wanting to shampoo hair.
Yeah.
Understand that that's the bedrock of a great
Thank
service.
you. That's the most intimate way of
Right?
connecting
Right.
with your client.
It's the bedrock of your
Yes,
service also. That's the
yes.
foundation from which you build.
Yes.
So, we could be here all night with that.
I know. Okay.
But, and that's one of my missions or my purposes, for you to understand that the power that you have in these hands, tapping into that.
Yes.
Money will be like such an afterthought. Because people will want to be in your chair. Like,
Yes.
I quote unquote retired. I chuckle because I'm like, all these people made me out to be a liar because I retired from being behind the chair. But I have retired from full-time being behind the chair.
Right.
But still, I still get calls of guests that I had like, do you think you could see me, or can we still come? You know what I mean? And so I'm finding myself, if I were to like open my books, it'd be, the Beauty Boutique 2.0 all over again. And so just trying to navigate that. But I still have a passion for it also. So I appreciate the opportunities where I do have private sessions, and I look forward to it. I love it. But it's more, my focus now is more on pouring that into, so many people don't know that they have that. It's available. There's enough people in this world. There's not a lack.
I know. I totally get it. And I think that the reason why you're still getting those calls is because that experience is lacking right now.
Right.
And you just provided them with something that they're yearning for
Right.
and wanting to receive it every month, because it could make a huge difference in their self-care. You know what I mean?
It does.
So I totally get that. Oh my God. Well, let me ask you, how does your faith influence the way that you approach your beauty and wellness?
Right. It's my point of departure. You know how, people say like there's a separation of church and state, or a separation of this and that, or a lot of times, I was taught that way also, that you don't discuss politics or religion or faith or what have you. But for me, there's no separation for me. That's who I am. So whether I'm out socially or I'm in a salon or in a class, what have you, you're going to get the same Gerdie.
Right.
And so my point of departure is always stems from my faith.
I love that.
It doesn't change. I'm not going to browbeat you with the Bible.
Right.
But if I look at my ultimate example, Jesus the Christ, it was just, Jesus never compromised who Jesus was. He was very clear about his mission, his purpose, and it didn't matter the scenario, it didn't matter the environment. Stayed true to who he was.
Yes.
And so that's been my goal.
Yes.
Do I miss the mark? Absolutely. But Lord knows my heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so I always get back to that. And
do
so
your
that makes a
clients,
difference.
do they realize that too? I mean, do they see that shining through you without you even having to say a word about your faith and your spirituality?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe
that's
so. But then
beautiful.
when we get to talking,
Yes,
then
they know for
Right.
a fact. Exactly. You
Right,
know where all of
right.
this comes from, my
Right,
friend, and
right.
why you keep coming back.
Right.
Because that's how I look at it as well. I mean, you don't have to, like you said, necessarily browbeat people with what you believe, but they're going to see it shining
Right.
through you in everything that you do. So I love that. I do. Any challenges you had to encounter on this journey, and how would, see, and what were they, and how were you able to navigate them and stay grounded at the same time?
The challenges were from expectations, dashed expectations, you know, and so once I got to a place, and it's still ever evolving, of removing the expectations and meeting people where they are and staying true to who I am, regardless of the situation or what's being presented, that makes the difference. But there's a lot of challenges. There's challenges in making sure that communication is difficult, because communication is not only what you said. Communication rests in what was heard and what was understood by what was said from either party. Right? And oftentimes there's a lack of communication. We're saying something, but what I'm saying is not
necessarily
being
received the way
or
you said
heard,
it.
right? And vice versa, right? And so we filter things through our own preconceived notions, assumptions, beliefs, and thoughts. And so the biggest thing for me in overcoming the challenges, which are all the time and constant. It's not, I used to think life was like, mountaintop to mountaintop, but it's a concurrent flow of challenges and good, challenges and, great, challenges, it's a constant. And being able to navigate that. And I'm still learning, while I'm very content in my life right now, I have to be intentional about that. How are you intentional about that? With all the challenges, I tend to be one to look at the glass half full. And okay, what am I learning from this? What am I learning about myself? What am I learning about people? And God, what are you showing me? And so that takes work.
It does.
Sometimes
it really
I don't want to be bothered. I want to
know.
knock you out.
I know.
And
keep it moving. I know. But
truth be told,
everything is a lesson, though. Everything.
Absolutely.
Us waking up in the morning is a lesson, my friend. So I totally get it. So, and as you said, that is life. We will have our wins and our victories, but we will also go through the challenges, the trials and tribulations. It's how we get through those things.
It is par for the course. And actually, let me just put a disclaimer, Lord, I'm not asking you for more challenges. But truth be told, every challenge I've had to go through and overcome, disappointments, hurts, betrayals, loss, theft, all of that actually is it's in the crucible of challenges that you're able to be formed into who God wants you to be anyway. And so now I look back, like everything I've gone through, all the hurts, betrayal, phony, shady, using. I also recognize that there was a lot of deep, great relationships from that also. There was a lot of great blessings from that also. And so if I had to go through it all again, I would. Because where I am now, who I am now,
it formed this person. I know the strength, the heart, just the level of protection that you have around you. I totally get that.
And that's my word. God protects me. You know? And so I can't dwell on the stuff that happened that were crappy. Some things really sucked.
But you had to go through them, girl. And I feel the same way. Like I look at every trial, tribulation, anything that I go through as a strengthening in my character and my purpose. Because had I not gone through them, how would I know? You know what I'm saying? And you can't go through life with blinders on and not thinking that nothing is going to affect you, because it definitely will. But it's how you come out on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you are saying today. I love it. I love it.
And so this whole concept of, like no negativity, no drama, that's a farce. And that actually keeps people in hostage, It's not that you don't have no drama, no negativity. The same way you have that, you have to look at what you do have that is going for you, because we all have something going for us.
All the time. All the time.
And so it's just, being able to take that perspective. And now I don't run from challenges, I lean in.
I love that.
I lean in now.
I love that. And that's really owning the beauty within you as well.
Absolutely.
Taking those hits and taking those challenges and just turning them into a better you. You know what I mean? Not allowing it to affect you, but allowing it to grow you. And that's what we all need to do. We can't stay stuck in the same places, We can't just main complacency and think it's all right and shelter ourselves from everything that's going on in the world. We have to experience it so that we can grow from them. I love that. Well, let me ask you, through your consultancy and retreats, because you hold retreats for the for the business, how do you help women embrace their inner beauty and be empowered?
Well, with Well Woman, I started this back in 2018, And it's a retreat, it's a wellness retreat, and focusing on different aspects of wellness.
Okay.
And so you're able to embrace your beauty in between, your beauty within, in understanding that, number one, we're not monoliths, right? So we're multifaceted. Wellness takes on several components, right? And so being able to not only be mindful of them, but making being intentional about catering to them.
Right.
And that only can happen from inside out.
Right.
Right? You can't put on wellness.
Right.
You can't slap it on and rub it in.
You're right.
It has to come from the inside out. And the thing with beauty within is that it's not this perfect, beautifully sculpted thing.
Right.
Beauty from within emanating from out is tattered.
Yep.
Is lumpy.
Yep.
It's a little off kilter sometimes.
Yes.
But it's authentic.
Yep.
And I think that's what makes a difference.
Yes.
And so equipping women with different methods and different ways of being able to harness what we already have. Everything you need, you already have.
Yes.
Right? But oftentimes we don't notice that.
Yeah.
Or we take for granted that, oh, that's just nothing. No, that's something.
No, it is.
That's something.
Yeah.
Little is great in the hand of the one who can recognize its greatness.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
And you're always enough. You're
Absolutely.
always enough. You're imperfectly perfect.
Exactly.
And I love that, even though it takes time, and it does, you have to grow into that.
Right.
That believing
Right.
that the beauty already exists within you, no matter how tattered, torn, beat up, bruised, however it is, you still have a way of turning that into just the beautiful piece of just art, which is what you're teaching. So with the Well Woman, what can we expect from the retreats?
Okay, so I normally have it where I invite other experts. So I consider myself to be a B2B, business to business,
Okay.
and B2C.
Okay.
Business to consumer.
Okay.
And so Well Woman is bringing both together.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I have industry experts that come in and they facilitate different workshops or different seminars on a particular topic.
Oh, okay.
So like last year, even though it focuses on holistic wellness for women, that's emotional, spiritual, mental, financial, environmental, I have one of those components of wellness that is our focus. So last year was environmental wellness. And so you will have subject matter experts come in and focus on a different area.
Right.
And like for instance, one of our workshops was a candle making workshop.
Okay.
And so the young lady, Desi Essentials, she walked us through understanding the different ingredients in that and how we can use that to be able to help our environment.
Right.
And the environment is your car,
Right.
is your home,
Right.
is your place of work, or if you're in school, where you're in school, working on different ways of being able to enhance that environment, right? To purify the air. So we did the candle making, but she also provides like different scents and different like sprayers and different things that you're able to do, not only for the air in your environment, but also for your clothing.
Okay.
And so that's one component. I had one of my good girlfriends, Reverend Jones, where she does tapping.
Okay.
So we had a session on tapping and being able to.
You know Reverend Casey Jones?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I love that. That is, yeah, we'll talk.
Okay. So she's done one of the Well Women workshops. I've had another, Glenda, she's a psychotherapist.
Okay.
And just doing different sessions. And so
It's such a small world.
It really is.
Dr. Casey Jones. She's one of my co-hosts for the segment of Society, Culture,
No
and
way.
You. Yes. Oh my
Wow.
God. I am so shocked. This Dr. Casey, I know that you saw the promo for this show, and why didn't you call me and tell me you
Wow.
knew this young lady? Like, I am so shocked
we went
right
to
now.
Union together.
That is
we
amazing.
were co-chairs of the Black Women's Caucus.
I love that.
Wow.
That is a
Small
wow.
world.
Exactly. So you provide really self-care techniques for ladies,
Practical for women.
that we can
Budget friendly.
See, that's what we need.
Right.
So tell me how, because it's hard to maintain it. We learn it, we hear it, we're part of it. We go to these seminars, we go to these workshops, how do we maintain it in
You
house?
have to be relentless about it. You have
Okay.
to make the choice.
Okay.
You have to decide that I have to be relentless about it. And understanding being relentless, you're not perfect. We will have some times where we kind of fall back or what have you, but you got to get right back into it. One of my mentors, she passed away, but she used to always say, have your moment, Gerdie.
Wow.
But you can't stay there.
Yeah.
I won't let you stay there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So accountability, who's your support circle?
Yeah.
Who do you know that you know that you know that you know has your back?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because we can't do it, you know, when we can't do it alone.
Right.
But you have to be intentional about it. You have to make the space for it. It's not going to happen by osmosis. It's not just going to happen.
Yeah,
You know?
you're
And when
absolutely
when we do fall off, okay, you know what? I missed the mark. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Pick it up.
Get back up. Let's go again.
I love that.
But
So
you
what-
have to be relentless.
So that's what I want to know too. You know, it's 2025 and everybody has, as I mentioned, resolutions, but we're setting intentions and we're being committed. What do you suggest we do starting 2025 to keep on this wellness journey, to make sure that we are intentional in our actions? What do you suggest, not just for women out there, because I know there's
Yeah.
men that need that same kind of self-care. What do you suggest we do?
You have to make it happen. Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
Though it tarry, wait for it. Oftentimes people do not, simple practices of journaling, writing it down, carving the time out for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can come across as seeming like it's very robotic, but we have to train ourselves to do certain things.
Yes.
So I literally have to take time out and map out my whole schedule. I have to count for every hour of the day, including my sleep time, including my rest time.
Yes.
I have to schedule it and put it in there. And I believe that they said it takes 21 days to form a habit or something.
Yes.
Repetition and consistency.
Yes.
You have to do it. Some things will eventually become second nature, but it's never going to happen if it's something that you're constantly saying, I have to, I have to, I have to, and you don't actually do it.
Yes.
So as basic as taking a sheet of paper,
Yes.
starting with 5 a.m., every half hour, every hour, writing it all down.
Yeah.
Making a space for it, making place for it. You know, if you want to get better and you want to start working out, making time for it,
Yes.
putting it in there, and setting those boundaries and honoring the boundaries you set.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Because oftentimes, people, we're good at this. We talk about things, but most people aren't doers.
Right.
You know, they don't actually do it. And so what's worked for me and what's been transformative, I write everything down.
I love that.
I
That's
write
what
everything down.
I've been doing that lately. Like I literally, because I will set the intention to set aside time like every week or every day to write in my journal, and then it fall off. Let something happen, and the next thing you know, it's all out the window, and I'm catching up like 2 months later. And I had to stop that.
Right.
So I have been more intentional about setting aside that time. And I just learned something recently from a segment I was watching on TV. On wellness as well. And what you should do is, the new phrasing shouldn't be, I have to. It should be, I get the chance to. Like that is the blessing in it. Like I am still here that I get the chance to work on my wellness, work on my self-care, work on the beauty within. It is now me having the opportunity to do something for myself and not it being a labor of something to get done, you know? So I love that. All right, I want to talk because time is winding down. I want to talk, we could talk
This is
forever.
great. Right.
I want to talk real quick about Tress Talk. Tell us about Tress Talk and what does that offer?
So Tress Talk is just what it says. Tresses is our hair. It started out with when we had the shutdown with the pandemic. I started just doing some tutorials for my community, for the salon. I've since opened it. It's a public channel. And so it's really just to have a resource for people to learn and know about the hair and scalp care.
I love that. I love that. How do you find time?
Well, that's just it. I've been doing shorts lately. I haven't done a video in a while, but one of my intentions is the second half of the year to start uploading videos and doing it.
I love that. I love that. All right. What advice would you give to beauty professionals looking to balance creativity with building a sustainable business?
For beauty professionals looking to balance that? Oh, that's a good question. One of the things I work with my one-on-ones is we do a lot of mindset work, but it's also, I have an exercise that we do is defining your roles, because none of us are monoliths, right? But what happens is oftentimes we keep it all up in here, and so we're trying to juggle and manage what have you, and it's like not only is it not effective, but you're giving yourself unnecessary stress.
Right.
So clearly defining your role. So as a beauty professional, okay, you're a beauty professional, whether you be a suite renter, booth renter, an actual salon owner, or a freelancer, okay, what have you, back to when I said you write everything down, what's the time you allocate to that?
Right.
And remember, you're wearing more than one hat. You know, you're the provider, but you're also running the business.
Right.
Being able to map that out, being clear about all of your roles. You would be surprised how many people never do that.
Yeah, no,
We're
I
just
believe it.
operating and just doing things, and so we just, you know,
Yes.
and it makes it easier to drop the ball
Yes.
when we don't have that. But when we're clear on our roles, like I'll use myself for example. You know, I'm a wife, a mother, a minister, a business owner, a consultant, an educator.
Right.
And so I can't be all of those things at once.
time.
But whatever, but I'm clear on all of those roles.
Right.
I'm clear on the purpose of all of those roles.
And
so
when to
when
step
it's time
into
to step
those
into
roles.
that,
I
right?
love that.
So everything else falls back. So
Yeah.
when I'm mommy, I'm mommy
mommy.
all in.
That's right.
When I'm wife and boo, I'm wife and boo
Yeah.
all in. When I'm minister, you see what I'm saying?
I get it. I get
right.
it.
And
I
so
love that.
I don't change bodies. I'm
Yeah,
still the same
you're still the same
person.
person.
But I want to be like, I'm very present with you right now.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
get it.
that matters.
I love that. All right, real quick, 20 seconds or less. What
wow.
legacy do you hope to leave in the beauty and wellness industry, and how do you hope to inspire others?
Great question. The legacy I hope to leave is that we're not perfect, but we always strive for excellence.
Yes.
In all that we do, and know that we already have everything in us that we need to do what God has called us to do. And if you're still breathing, God is not done with you yet, and you have purpose.
I love
And
that.
so figuring out a way to offer it is true success.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Thank
Gerdie
you.
René Gordon, for being here. We're going to put up her information. You have been a delight. You have been a wealth of information. Please, if you're looking for speaking, teaching, and preaching, please reach out to hello at, what is that?
Gerdie René Gordon.
Yes, all
Just my
right.
name.
You guys could see it on the screen. Please reach out to her. I thank you so much. You have been
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
I cannot believe you know Dr. Casey. We're going to have a long talk.
Absolutely.
This is the girl. All right, I want to get real quick to the Dare to Be You. And it is Dare to Be You, a masterpiece of purpose and grace, radiating beauty from within. True beauty shines through your soul's light, your compassion, and your authentic spirit. When you embrace your essence, you inspire others to see their worth. Dare to be real, for your inner beauty is your greatest gift. And that is exactly what you shared today, my beautiful friend. I so appreciate you. You have
Likewise.
no idea. We have so much more in common than I even realized. But I want to thank you again for blessing us with your presence today. I want to thank you, viewers out there, for tuning in to another episode of Your Our Unity. I want you to have a beautiful, beautiful start to 2025. Remember that the beauty is all within you. Let's just let you allow it outside so we all can see it. In the meantime, I want you to have a wonderful evening. Please remember I love you, and that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So let's go out there and be some love, give some love, and just live in love. I will see you next week or 2 weeks on the Your Our Unity show. Please have a good night, and say good night, Gerdie.
Good night.
We love you.